Toshiro and Rangiku would arrive to the meeting place of Central 46. Much to her dismay, Rangiku's captain would slice through the door, surprised that the defense mechanism hadn't kicked in. "Captain Hitsugaya," Rangiku would say, "I don't know if this is the best course of action. We're not supposed to barge in on Central 46 and..." "Isn't that strange? The alarms haven't gone off yet, even though I've attacked the door." "You're right." As they made their way into the darkened halls of Central 46, a meeting place of the wisest and judicial of the Soul Society, 40 sages, 6 judges, who gave the verdicts and jurisdiction for all within the Soul Society. The room was darkened, only for the light that came through the entryway. But the discovery that they found was horrifying. The bodies of all of the sages and judges at their seats, their blood splattering their desk, the walls, and the floor. "They've been murdered. But what does this mean? Captain Hitsugaya..." Toshiro would observe the scene of the crime. Taking a closer inspection, the blood that had been spilled was now starting to dry and flake and blacken. This means that they've been dead for a while now. This wasn't recent. Toshiro would begin to replay everything that happened. From the time that the captains were called for the emergency meeting dealing with the Ryoka invasion, to the lockdown that was in place after the fight between the Ryoka and Renji. From that moment forward, no, even before then, everything that's happened up until now, it's all of it's been a lie. At the entranceway, Izuru would be waiting for them. Rangiku would give chase, leaving Toshiro to continue the investigation. But who was responsible for this? Even Gin couldn't pull off something this elaborate on his own. So if not for him, then who? Toshiro would get his answer. As he continued his search, he would find the body of a fresh corpse, or at least one that clung to life. "Momo! No! Who did this?" "Hello there, Hitsugaya." A familiar voice echoed in the room as he turned, seeing Gin and the perpetrator standing next to him. "It's been a while, hasn't it?" "It was you." In the meantime, Chad would continue on with Renji and Rukia as they made their escape. As they had gotten down from the mountainside, ready to try to get as far away as they could, they were stopped in the middle of the road. Standing before them, Renji recognized him. "Captain Kaname Tosen, please, step aside. We need to..." "Hand over Rukia," Tosen said. "I don't think so." Chad stepped in between them. "No, don't do it," Renji said. "You don't stand a chance against him. He's a captain." "Captain, not captain. Makes no real difference to me. If he stands in our way, he is my enemy. Please, Ryoka, I do not wish to have your blood on my hands." Just stand aside. This does not concern you. But I'm afraid it does. Chad, please don't do this, Rukia would yell out. Take another way. Get Rukia as far away from here as you can. I'll catch up with you. Now go. Renji would back away. Much to Rukia's dismay, she didn't want to leave Chad behind, but Renji had to be honest with her. Rukia, if we're being totally clear here, we are in no condition to support him. He's at full strength, and you saw the wounds on Tosen's arm. He's not at 100% either. So what are you saying, Renji? As slow as it might be, I think the Ryoka, Chad, I think he can win. Chad had a green medallion wrapped around his neck. The emerald stone in the shape of a tiger. As he clutched it tightly, green reishi would begin to form around him as he began to transform, taking on a new identity. Chad would now become the white tiger, and on his right hand, the tiger claw gauntlet rested, his eyes furrowing under his mask as he crouched into his stance, ready for a fight. I see, Tosen would say, and I can't dissuade you from this path. No, you can't. You can either surrender now or leave us be, or you can fight me and die. Do not throw that word around, boy. Death is the end. Perhaps, but I will do what I must. I find your loyalty and conviction to be admirable. Perhaps if we were not enemies, we could have been friends. Now, cry, Suzumushi. Tosen would unsheath his Zanpakuto as a high-pitched sound would begin to echo over the area. He attempted to use the power of his Zanpakuto to leave a trail of powerful sound waves, hoping to stun and incapacitate Chad. Even Chad would start to stagger back at the might of the Zanpakuto as Tosen went in for a non-lethal strike. However, Chad's reflexes had increased tenfold. He was able to dodge at the last moment, blocking the blade with the gauntlet as he countered with a strike of his own, Tosen blocking with his forearm, feeling the full might of Chad's strength. Chad would now go on the offensive as he struck with the Tiger Claw gauntlet, leaving craters of destructive energy in its wake as his punches would be shot towards the captain. This Ryoka, he is indeed powerful, but he's nothing like that Kinpachi. He doesn't revel in the fighting. He uses his strength, but he's coordinated to a degree. He's not a mindless beast. Tosen would catch the gauntlet with his blade as the two of them clashed in the middle of the streets. Your power is quite formidable for a Ryoka. Why do you insist on getting in our way? What relationship could you have with Rukia Kuchiki? She was not in the world of the living long enough, not long enough for you to establish a true friendship. But yet you, a mere human, you have come from another world entirely, stepping into something that is truly beyond you. You fight against the impossible odds, against an enemy with over centuries of experience, someone who can crush you. So why? Why do you continue to persist in this endeavor? Why? Chad would ask. You're right. I didn't know Rukia very long, but she helped me. She saved my life. And I'm fighting for my friends. I don't need much more of a reason than that. I don't have a grand or a noble cause. My best friend Ichigo wants to save Rukia. That's all I need to know. For that, I will face any enemy. And I will win. Chat would build up his reishi inside of the Tiger Claw gauntlet as he unleashed ferocious strikes of energy, powerful shockwaves and slashes of his reishi colliding against Tosin, who responded by using the next stage of his Shikai, Suzumushi Nishiki Benehiko. As he slashed his sword into the air, multiple blades would shoot towards Chad. He used his heightened sense of reflex and agility to avoid every blade that was shot towards him. Tosin would then move into his blind spot, stabbing him through the abdomen with his Zanpakuto. But Chad would fight through the pain. Using the gauntlet, he connected with a devastating right hook, pouring as much power as he could into the attack. Tosin would be sent flying from the shockwave of the strike. This power. I can't play around with him any longer. I doubt Renji can get too far away. But if I continue to toy around, he might actually get the better of me. But no, there's no way that he could make me use my Bunkai. Not him. Chad was now building up as much power as he could as he went racing towards Tosin. Tosin now considered using his Bunkai. It would give him the instant win. This kid wasn't anything like Kenpachi. But of course, before he could, another sword would appear, striking down at Chad. Chad would collapse, the slash across his chest, causing him to bleed out as his powers would disappear and he returned back to his normal form. Well, that was certainly interesting. Don't tell me that the Ryoka was actually pushing you now, Gin said with a smile. Where is the master? He's just taking care of things with Captain Hitsugaya, though I imagine the others will be on our trail shortly. You know what to do. You shouldn't delay any further. I won't. I'm going after Abara and Kuchiki. Very well then. But you know, you do owe me one, Tosin. I owe you nothing, Ichimaru. In the meantime, Ichigo continued his battle against Byakuya. The two seemed fairly evenly matched, but now Byakuya found himself on the defensive. Ichigo was actually pushing him. Was he breaking a sweat? No, that couldn't be. Don't continue to toy with me, Ichigo said. Start taking this fight seriously and unleash your Bankai. Bankai? Byakuya said. No. Someone the likes of you It would take 100 years before I'd ever have to unleash my Bunkai. You are not worthy of it. And for you to throw it out so casually, you continue to trifle on our tradition and our honor. Oh yeah? Well, if your tradition is the kind of one that would allow you to execute your own sister, then you're damn right I'm gonna mess with it. You speak from a place of pride. The only reason why I got this power was because of your stupid pride. You think I want to be here right now? Ichigo said. The only thing I can taste in my mouth is blood. I feel like there's a fire inside of my bones. My muscles feel like they've been stretched to the limit. I feel like I've gone to hell and back multiple times to the point where I could leave a vacation home there. So you're damn right I'm tired. But I'll go through this 100 times, 1,000 times more if that's what it takes. To defeat you, Byakuya. If you won't come at me with your Bankai, then I'll just come at you with mine. How foolish. You really expect me to believe that you achieved Bankai in 3 mere days? It takes someone just 10 years to learn their own Zanpakuto. Bankai is something that would take over 100 years to master. But you mean to tell me that you have acquired Bankai in just 3 measly days? Don't make me laugh. Your diatribe is as foolish now as it was in the beginning, and I will put an end to this farce. Fine then, Ichigo said. Suit yourself. Ichigo would point his blade towards Byakuya, as his reishi would begin to flow from out of him, creating a strong torrent of energy around his body. The bandages that had been binding his wounds would now start to grow and elongate until they were swirling around him like a tornado. Byakuya watched on as Ichigo's power would continue to climb until finally the bandages would now fully envelop his body and sword. From his feet to his head, the entire length of his arms, even his Zanpakuto, all of them would be covered in the bandages. He looked as though he had been turned into a mummy. Bankai! Within an explosion so bright that even Byakuya was blind. As the smoke cleared around Ichigo, all that was left was a figure clad in white. His body now wrapped tightly within finely made bandages, pristine and free of any blood. He gripped onto his blade that was entirely black, save for the sword's guard that took the shape of a crescent moon. His eyes, shining as though they were the moon itself, piercing straight into Byakuya, as the white-clad figure pointed his sword towards him. What is this? Byakuya would ask. I told you, this is my true Bankai. Is that so? You turn yourself into a mummy, and you call that poor excuse of a blade a Bankai, continuing to mock our tradition. Why don't you come over here and find out? I warned you, if you want to defeat me, you'll need your Bankai. As if I would ever give you the time of day. Scatter, Shinbun Sakura. Byakuya's Zanpakuto would transform into what appeared to be 1,000 Sakura rosebuds that began to fall in bloom as they chased after Ichigo. However, in his new form, he moved a lot faster and seemed harder to keep track of. Byakuya would even go through the trouble of controlling the Shinbun Sakura, using them to try to encage and destroy Ichigo, only for him to slash away at all of the pellets, cutting through every sword and reducing them to ash. Hoping to catch him off guard, he would try to launch a swirling attack towards him. But before he could even land the killing blow, he felt the tip of Ichigo's blade pressed against his throat. Let me ask you, Byakuya, you feeling lucky? What? How did you? My Zanpakuto. It condenses my power into this blade, allowing me to move at even faster and greater speeds. But not only that, there's also a second feature to my Bunkai. A second feature. Ichigo would flip away as he backed up his arm like he were getting ready to unleash a powerful swing, a one-handed slash. You see, it took me a while to figure it out, but the power of my Bunkai, it stores up my energy, compressing it into a high dense slash that I move in a swinging formation. Once I'm able to do that, I can fire it off like a shot. Is that so? Yeah. Let me demonstrate it to you, Byakuya. Huh? Before he knew what happened, Ichigo would cry out, Ketsuga Tensho! Crescent Moon Slash! This concludes Bleach Midnight. What If Ichigo Was MoonKnight? Season 1, Part 11. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned tomorrow as we continue and conclude Bleach Midnight. What If Ichigo Was MoonKnight? Season 1, Part 12, the Season 1 finale. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.